Hey everybody, this is Dr. Ben Pearl with FitFoot U. So today we are going to do a teaser segment with Bob Schwartz. Bob Schwartz is the former president of PFA and current CEO Enislo Pedorthic Enterprises. Welcome, Bob. You know, your title, Footwear Forensics. Tell me a little bit about what led you to kind of come up with that sort of thought process and maybe give us an example.
Thank you, Ben, for inviting me today. Firstly, the footwear forensic concept was here when I got here 52 years ago. It's foundational to the NSLO pedorthic model because what we're doing is finding the very best shoe and shoe modifications, orthotic devices, whatever, based on a number of factors. You've got your biomechanical factors, but really what you have is the concrete planet pushing up against the body while the body is pushing down on the shoes, the inserts, etc. So when we study the shoes, we learn a lot about what's going on with every step a person takes. It's their real life experience. That's why it is forensic, and that we can see how their lives have evolved in terms of their balance, posture, alignment, gait, just by looking at shoes. So we can start with this shoe. I don't know how well you can see
Yeah,
it.
I can see it well.
Good. So this is a high top shoe that has been modified. It's got an extra rocker sole added on, and you can see the wear pattern on the sole of the shoe. And even though it's got a rocker sole, you can see certain wear patterns, like this part of the sole's worn a little bit more. Back at the lateral heel, it's worn a little bit more, so that we can see, well, first of all, the fact that it's a lateral heel wear pattern is good because that's where the normal from supination to heel landing to pronation takes place.
Can
So,
I interject, Bob? When I used to teach skiing, we used to call it detect and correct. So and you mentioned a couple of things with the normal pattern. I understand you're trying to accomplish goals with the rocker. What's something you detected in this shoe as part of your forensic analysis that you are now going to correct?
well, when I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to focus in on where the wear patterns are. And I think I'm going to go to the insert first because that's the clearest and most obvious. In this particular case, we've got a lateral flare, a lateral wedge, and we got a pocket for the base of the fifth metatarsal here. And with it all, we still have a lot of pressure under the lesser metatarsals, even with a rocker sole. And by the way, a rigid, semi-rigid rocker sole, there is some give to it, with a lot of toe spring. I mean, you can even see how much the shoe is off the ground at the toe, and yet there's still pressure to the ball of the
And
foot.
we can see that on the video, Bob. Even through, the lighting, we can still
Right,
see those
exactly.
indentations of the pulp of the tips of the toes.
Exactly. And that's what footwear forensics is. It's studying all the pressure points to see what the balance is, to see if we need to rebalance, redistribute forces. This particular orthotic also has a semi-rigid shell under it. And frankly, it looks like it's in pretty good shape. I would say that all of the angles from the plantar aspect of the orthotic, not the foot, look fine. Even the plantar aspect of the foot, other than maybe needing a little bit more metatarsal, seems to be really nicely balanced. But that's what
Well, I did want to show you something that I picked up on, and you said that you have something this thick as well at the lab where you are in the environs of your lab there,
right.
below your inventory and floor space.
Yep.
This is something that I just happened on, and if you can see it in the camera, Bob, it's about a millimeter thick. But I use this today. I put a little pour on, but then I put this overlay for a cuboid pad, cut it out with my German shears here, and then just kind of laid it on, and it sealed up perfectly. No glue, no muss, no fuss, because it's got the backing, and I just peeled it off.
And interestingly enough, this orthotic has that one millimeter top cover that was added on at the very end to reduce the shear forces. Also, you can see if you're looking, I don't know how easily you can see, but you can see some cuttings in that heel area where
Yeah.
there's a lot of force of the heel pounding down. And maybe when it was cemented, it wasn't cemented perfectly under the calcaneus. So this is kind of wearing out in a place that you wouldn't have expected it to wear out. So the first thing I would do with this is put a new top cover on and change it and use the same material you just demonstrated. I think I would add a metatarsal pad just looking at this. And then looking at the shoe itself, this shoe has actually been split open to accommodate lateral forces. So this is a base or fifth problem. I don't know if you can see the white frame inside of it, but this shoe has actually been extended on the inside. And so what you can tell is that instead of it being indented, instead of it being concave, it's convex along the lateral border because the shoe has been made that way by splitting it open to accommodate the base of the fifth metatarsal, the styloid process, the Hageland's deformity.
This is great stuff, Bob. You know, I want to wrap it up by saying that both what you do and what Jeff Rich, but what I got from your seminar down there in, at the run event in Austin, Texas, was that you should be, for like your top cover, charging accordingly, whether you be a CPed or a podiatrist for your time. And I think that that's where a lot of providers with this ever challenges of overhead versus reimbursement, you have to know your worth. And you're in New York City, it's a higher per square footage per minute where you sit than let's say Sioux City, Iowa. But I think that's where a lot of people are missing the mark. Look, I look forward to Super Bowl Saturday, February 7th. You will be there with another colleague of yours, Matt Gooch, who is a technical consultant with Superfeet, and he will be also doing some stuff, not necessarily about Superfeet, but just to give us some other information about implementation of orthotics and shoes. Great. So looking forward to that date on February 7th, Bob, and it'll be virtual. And I'm going to leave in the notes here in the description the link to sign up for the virtual Super Bowl Saturday Biomechanics Summit, February 7th.
Great. Look forward to being with you then.